can I have another wine?
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want it, just come get it.
A Giggle Gang podcast.
Just be myself.
For fuck's sake.
You know, sometimes people pay me to say ridiculous shit, and sometimes I just say it for free.
Jesus Christ.
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I am African. A lot of people mistake me for other ethnicities, but this is a representation of myself.
Really?
Yes.
What part of Africa are you from?
Sudan?
Sudan?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the South Sudanese rapper?
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, what's his name? Bangs.
Bangs?
Yes. Unfortunately, he's put Sudan on the map for all the wrong reasons.
Do you think so?
And he got an Australian passport as well.
I know. He's big in Australia, and do you know why he's big in Australia?
Because I think you gave him a gig for some bizarre reason. Someone in Australia sponsored him to come out, and he performed his movie song.
Her name's Michelle Laurie. She's an Australian radio presenter. So the radio network that I used to work for in Australia, she was in like another part of the country, and she was like, she heard Take You to the Movies, and then she was like, oh, let's get him over, and then he just like blew up in Australia.
I wasn't a fan. The only song that I think was catchy was his Facebook song. Have you heard it?
Meet me on the Facebook. That's all I know about
I'm really so proud that you know something about my country.
Yeah. What do you know about my country?
All the negative things, to be honest.
Really?
Like, yeah.
You were scared of a bloody British spider in the corner before.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the creepy crawlies.
Oh.
I'm talking about, like, you know, the colonisation of the indigenous people and how you took
This
a
is
country that's
supposed to
not
be
yours.
a fun podcast.
Yeah, well, you asked me about Australia.
So have you lived in England your entire life?
Yeah, born and bred.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't identify as English or British. I do identify as Sudanese, but I just happen to be born in this country, and that's the way it is. But like, that's not how I identify.
Okay.
And that's why I talk a lot about it in my comedy, like how people see me and how I see myself.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what was the process like for your family who immigrated from Sudan to get here? Was it a simple process? Was it a choice or?
So my dad's originally a geologist, so he studied geology in Sudan, and he did his master's, and then he was given the opportunity to do a PhD here because he specialised in marble and gold. So when he was sponsored here, he was sponsored for 3 years, and after 3 years he was supposed to go back, and he never went back.
Really?
Yeah, he stayed. He refused to leave. Because of the situation in Sudan's always pretty shit, isn't it? And then he just never left. So he stayed here. And then I was born literally a month after my mum came. So my mum came in December 88. I was born in January 89. So I had the luckiness of getting a British passport without trying. And then because I was born here and I had the British passport, it's very difficult for them to kick him out, basically. So
So the ticket is, if you want to stay here, just have a child here, and then it's like, we can't
anybody
leave the
who
child.
wants a British passport, find a way to get to the UK and have a baby here, and there's absolutely no way they can kick you out.
Yeah, or even get pregnant offshore and then just come like a month before the due date on holiday.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, 40 days. So as long as you're pregnant, you've got 40 days left. A visitor visa is usually 40 days to 3 months. This isn't the Citizens Advice Bureau.
Tell us how to get into the UK.
Anybody who wants any advice on getting to the UK and citizenship, please just add me, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, Ola Labib, and I'll give you all the advice you need.
You can plug yourself at the end. People always get really weirded out because they expect me to be like, oh, please welcome our guests, like whatever. It's just a conversation, like it's not.
No, that's fine.
It's not a formal thing, but you've just jumped the gun yourself, like plugging yourself.
Do you know what? I'm really worried. Like the British Embassy is going to look into my parents' citizenship.
Imagine if you get deported.
They have a British passport now, both mother and father. I don't know if it's real or not, but...
Whereabouts is your accent from? Because you sound so well educated, but I imagine that you didn't grow up around Manchester.
No, so I'm from Hampshire, down south.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, not all my siblings speak like me. My younger sister, my younger brother speak like London roadmen.
What does a London roadman sound like?
Oh, what's up, fam? Yeah, cuz. I don't really know. It sounds ridiculous, in my opinion.
Right, okay.
Even though I do listen to Stormzy and Jay Huss represent and all that. But, yeah, so I speak like this. My older brother speaks like this, but my two younger siblings, they sound like roadmen.
How young? What's the age difference?
So my eldest brother is 33 and my youngest brother is 12.
Right, okay.
So quite a big age gap, isn't it?
Yes. Very big age gap. How many siblings do you have?
There's 5 of us all together.
Jesus, the Labib clan.
Yes,
right?
Indeed, yeah. So we're all varying ages and stuff, but yeah, we live in 2 completely different generations. Like the eldest, that's me and my brothers, we're a different generation to like my younger sister and my baby brother.
So why is there such a big gap for your parents? Are your parents still together?
Yeah, they are.
They just like took a rest and they were like, let's have another go. So was it like 3 and then big gap and then another 2 at the bottom?
So 1 year, 1 year, 10 years, and then the youngest one is 21 years from the eldest.
Did they just make a mistake? Like,
I'm hoping they bought him, to be honest, or adopted him, but no, unfortunately he's natural birth, so I don't really want to know what my parents get up to.
When you're 20 years old and your parents... How old was your mum?
What, when she had the baby? I think she was like 41, 42.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
What a fertile woman.
Africans tend to be quite fertile, to be honest.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. See, look, I'm learning something new. African fertility. You didn't think we'd cover that up today, did you? So, for you, how do you find living in England as a woman of colour, wearing a hijab, looking different to the white class that sort of live here and push themselves on other people?
I think it depends where I live. So I get into this discussion all the time of people saying, oh, England's not as racist as it used to be. I personally don't see any difference. I don't feel there's a difference from when I was younger to when I am now. There was a stage like in the early 2000s that I feel racism really like reduced. Okay. But then in the past 7 years, I think it is worse than what it was before.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because there's a lot more expression of freedom of speech now than there was before. People would mutter things under their breath, whatever it is they want to mutter under their breath. But I feel now people are a lot more expressive of their feelings. Because
they can broadcast it on the internet or whatever.
With no issue, and no one can penalise them for it because it is freedom of speech. You can't openly abuse someone for being black, for example. You can't, use racial slurs or whatever, but you can say, I don't like black people, and no one can penalise you for that because it is your opinion.
Better or worse to target one specific person and say, I don't like you because you're black, or I don't like black people in general, or both are just as bad?
They're just as bad as each other.
Right.
But I would rather someone outright be very clear on how they feel rather than beat around the bush. So I used to work in Bournemouth, a specific area in Bournemouth in a hospital, and I personally found it very white middle class area, and I was the only black person in the department. So you get patients who are like middle-aged in their 60s, 70s who have that kind of view. So some of them would openly give you that strange look when you walk into their rooms or whatever.
Or no?
I'm a pharmacist, a clinical pharmacist. So I work on a ward-based level.
Right.
So you get people who are evident. I've had it on a few occasions where they're like, I don't want to be seen by her. It's very common.
Really?
Yeah. People are like, oh no, you're exaggerating. But I can swear to God, there are patients that will blatantly call the nurse and say, I don't want her to see me. And it's for obvious reasons. I remember there was one patient and I needed to counsel her on warfarin. Warfarin is a blood thinner.
Okay.
And so I was speaking to her. I was like, okay, you need to take this tablet once a day. And she was like, excuse me? And I thought she was hard of hearing. So I started to raise my voice a little bit. I said, you need to take this tablet once a day. And she was like, I'm really sorry. I can't understand the Indian accent. Can you get me someone that speaks better English, please?
I was literally about to say, if I like closed my eyes or like heard you on the phone, like...
You would never guess.
Absolutely, you have like the most posh accent like I've ever fucking heard. Like literally, you're so southern and so posh.
They literally couldn't care less. So I think it's different experiences. I love Manchester. It's very multicultural. As yet, I haven't experienced anything yet. I did in Warrington actually the other day.
Okay.
I felt like it was the most.
You fell over?
No, did I say I fell over?
No.
Oh no, I performed somewhere.
Right.
Not performed, like gigged.
Right.
Yeah.
Did comedy.
What
was the other type of performance?
I don't know.
What are you admitting to?
So I was in Warrington, and you could definitely get that. I felt that vibe. Some people are like, oh, you look too into it, but I feel like I've got a sixth sense for racism.
Who looks too into it? Oh, you're looking into it too
yes,
much,
people.
right.
Yeah, like so. If someone acts a certain kind of way,
you're like, oh, they're doing that because I'm black.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, you're looking too into it. But I feel like I've got a sixth sense for these kind of thing.
Especially when like, I don't think I will ever be able to fathom what like racism or homophobia or any of these things are like, because I'm a privileged straight white male. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I will never have to think about it. But even like the other day, I was walking home from a tram stop, right, just over there, around this area, relatively safe. I was just walking. There was like these guys just like leaning up against a like building. I'm quite a big guy. I know how to handle myself. But even I got a bit like, oh, hopefully there's no trouble here. And I was like, imagine if I was a woman.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, a woman of colour, or a woman of someone that they didn't agree with, you know.
Yeah.
They saw you and they were like, oh, we don't like what she's wearing.
Yeah, it is. But like, I'm lucky in Manchester because you know Sean. That's a shout out to you, Sean,
Good
the
job,
Polish
Sean.
one. Yeah. So he tends to come to a lot of gigs that I go to in the area that are late. Number one, to support me, but number two, he walks me home every single time. I think he knows how I feel about, you know, because of past experiences and whatnot. I don't really do public transport as well. I've got a thing about that. But
What's your thing with public transport?
Like sometimes I don't bring like hand sanitizer with me and wipes. Like I like to wipe down the seats. I know it sounds very like snobby, but that's just me personally. When I was in Portsmouth, like people used to smear like feces and stuff on the seats, and it's just put me off for life. And I do drive, but there's no point driving in Manchester city centre.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Sean tends to walk me home all the time, bless him. So
I would love to see you try and wipe down a tram. Like
I've never been on a tram, to be honest.
Never been on a tram?
No, not yet.
So who was wiping poo on the seats? Just like
just
people?
like random chavs and stuff like that. It was like a big thing back in
Who was
the.
it though?
I think they must be their own. I have no idea. But they used to like, you know, like smear feces, like piss on the seats, spit, and there was like this massive thing where they like
English
used to
people
put
are so
needles
funny.
and stuff in the seats.
Really?
There was a massive scam in Portsmouth back in 1998 where like there was this thing where people used to put like needles infected with different
They were doing that in strawberries. Some crazy British cunts were putting needles in strawberries in Australia.
it's just bizarre, isn't it? So bizarre.
They were like disgruntled employees because they hadn't been paid or there was an issue. So instead of attacking the farmers or the people that were supposed to be paying them, they were putting little like needles inside strawberries, and 8 people bit into strawberries and like cut their entire mouths up because they either swallowed pins or they just got it in the roof of their mouth. And it's like, that's not affecting the farmer, is it? Farmer's still there with his fucking strawberries. It cunt's got a bleeding mouth, like.
It's not funny, it's actually...
It's not funny, it's horrible. But then there was this big like fucking scandal. Like everyone was like, oh, I'm going to eat a strawberry. Like, does it have a pin in it?
Yeah.
People were being told to like check their fruit before they ate it. What's wrong with people?
What is wrong with people?
Whose poo are you smearing on the seat?
But at least they had, well, it's not a legitimate reason, but these people just did it for fun.
Yeah, that's
They did
weird.
it for fun.
If I was out with my friends and they just produced like some poo and they were like, I'm going to smear this on the tram seats, I'd be like, whose poo is that? Like, that would be my first question. Like, where have you got this
Like,
poo?
I personally wouldn't want to waste my poo like that, personally.
What's-
I'd put it to better use, but...
What is your favourite thing to do with your poo?
Oh, where do I start? Let's not go into it. That's for after 9 o'clock.
That's for me to know and you to find out. So, explain to me, right, because I'm quite ignorant, okay?
Okay,
But
here we go.
not ignorant in a bad way, right? But ignorant in I just don't know, right? And that's why I like to do this podcast. So you know Umby Winters, non-binary comedian?
Yeah, I've seen him, I've met him before, yeah.
Them.
Did I say them?
You have to say them because non-binary, not him, not her.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Them.
yeah,
I know,
sorry.
I know. I caught myself. They even misgendered themselves when they were on the podcast, right? But now I'm becoming more open and accepting, right? Because I sort of understand. They sold it to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was picking up what they were putting down. But for you, I want to understand the hijab is obviously coming from a religious
Oh, I
background.
thought you were going to start asking me about transgender.
No.
Okay.
You're not. Are you? I don't think you're transgender, right?
I might be.
No, I don't think you are. Your teeth are too straight to be transgender. You do have lovely teeth. Stop covering them up.
You're so weird. Every time I see a transgender person, I'm going to look at their teeth now.
I know. You'll start to notice. It's a thing. I've also had Darcy Silver on here, transgender comedian. I'm very accepting, but I want to understand the not the rules around the hijab, who wears it, why you wear it, all that sort of information.
Okay, so the main
Sell it to
thing people need to know, it is 100% choice. So there's a massive misconception. I talk a lot about it in my comedy about being forced into wearing a hijab.
You make a joke out of it.
I make a joke out of it
you have been
because
forced.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly, and that I'm oppressed because this is the ultimate theory that people have, that we're forced into that it's a form of oppression, whatnot. It was completely choice. So
you can choose not to wear it.
I can do whatever. I can walk around naked if I wanted to. Who's going to stop me? At the end of the day, it's your spirituality, it's your choice, it's what you believe, so you go by what you're doing. Some Muslims might think that the fact that I do stand-up comedy is forbidden because I'm putting myself out there and this and that. So it's very, certain things are quite subjective, but from what I believe, the reason we wear it is because of modesty. So I remember one time I came back from work from Ashton on Tameside Hospital. Have you heard of Ashton?
Yeah, I used to work on Tameside Radio, so yeah, I know the area.
Yeah.
Lovely place.
Yeah.
They got a 24-hour Asda. Simon Lomas lives there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh. I had the pleasure of living in Ashton under Lyne for a whole year. The most interesting experience of my life. But definitely moved out quite rapidly. But I was walking back from the hospital and this ginger guy, I don't know why I said ginger, his head colour's got nothing to do with anything, but he just happened to be ginger.
He's a fucking ginger. You can say he's a ginger, right?
Don't speak about Andrew Rogan like that.
Was it Andrew Grogan?
It wasn't.
A fucking ginger cunt. He knows what's going on.
I love you, Andrew. He's another one that's an absolute sweetheart. But yeah, he stopped to me and he was like, I had my headphones in and he was telling me to pull out my headphones. I thought, oh fuck, I'm going to be racially profiled or something. I was like, can I help you? And he was like, look, I've never had the courage to ask anyone this, but I'm going to ask you because you've got a friendly face. And I thought, fuck, he's going to ask me for spare change. He was like, why'd you wear that pillowcase on your head?
Okay.
He went, did your husband force you to do that?
Okay.
And I was like,
he
well,
could have just asked the question. He didn't need to give you an answer as well.
yeah, exactly.
That's
So
the
he
whole
was
thing.
like, did your husband force you to wear that? And I was like, well, I don't have a husband. And he was like, well, your fiance. I was like, well, I don't have a fiance. He was like, what about your boyfriend? I was like, well, I don't have a boyfriend.
I live in Tameside.
Yeah,
There's not that
exactly.
many options.
Sorry, Simon.
Yeah. Lomas gets it.
So I was like, no one's forced me to wear it. I said, I wear it because I want to wear it. And he was like, so why do you wear it then? are you bold? And I was like, no, I'm not bold. I said, I wear it because
She's
I
trying
choose
to say
to wear
bold
it.
for Australian listeners, the way you guys pronounce
What do you say?
bald.
Bold.
Bald.
Okay, I'm not bold, but I was like, look, let me put it to you in a way that's easy to understand. I said, I wouldn't walk around with my tits out, would I? I said, would you think that's weird? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, well, just imagine that my hair are like my tits. So if I had my hair out, people would look at me. It'd make me more attractive. I want to take that away. Like, I don't want that kind of like male... like men looking at me like in a sexualized way or whatever. And I'm sure you've seen me perform
Objectify
before.
you.
Exactly. So even when I'm on stage, I'm always fully covered. I don't wear like skin tight stuff. Like, I try to dress as modestly as possible. And that's because like I want people, when they see me, to listen to me. I don't want them to like look at me or judge me by the way I look, or like be attracted. I'm not saying I'm ugly, but I'm not saying I'm beautiful either. I'm normal, but like I want people to listen to me for me, rather than like judge me as a woman by the way I look. So that plays like a big part in it. So essentially it's just part of my modesty. I cover it up to draw less attention to me. But then... Can
I ask then, do you get haircuts?
Do I get haircuts?
Yeah.
Did you not hear my sketch? I've got an afro underneath this scarf. I have to like slick it down with like 0.5 gram of gel every day to keep it flat.
But like, I'm so intrigued. Like, is there a time like, so do you cut your hair?
Well, yeah, I keep it.
Okay.
People see my hair.
Okay.
So like
your
relatives see my
can see your
hair. Yeah, like females can see my hair.
Right.
Like kids can see my hair. Elderly can. It's basically just to cover from people who potentially can like
objectify it
or want to get with me.
Okay.
Which is everyone essentially. Like even with this on.
And anyone. I know, the mystery is just so appealing.
Like sometimes when I talk about it, like when I was in Liverpool, I did a gong show there. There was a few people in the front going, take it off, and I was just like, okay. I said I would, but I'm afraid your partner will fall in love with me if I do, so like I literally can't take that risk for my sake and for your sake. Sometimes guys will be like, like especially in comedy, I'm really curious to see what your hair's like. And I tell them, I'm like, I charge £500 for a 2-minute view and stuff like that.
So can you do the listeners a favour and describe your hair?
Okay, so if anybody used to watch EastEnders, Pat Butcher. So imagine Pat Butcher with a really, really bad perm.
I don't know who Pat Butcher is. I'm so annoyed.
Trying to show you.
Yeah, if you could get a picture of Pat Butcher up for me. Oh my god. People that know are just like, oh my god, how funny. I assume this is a joke, yeah?
You'll never know.
Oh, damn it. You really got me over a barrel.
So imagine her with a perm and being ginger.
Okay, do yourself a favour and Google Pat Butcher. It's well worth it. Well worth it for the joke. So, at what point is there a time where, like, when do you put the hijab on? Do you know what I mean?
Before I leave the house.
Okay, but when you're at home.
So when I'm at home, so essentially, like I said, I only cover my hair.
Outside.
Yeah, like
for other people.
Yeah, for other men, like men that there's like of, who could potentially. It is literally like covering my body. My hair and my head is part of my body. Right. So just like you don't go walking around with your weenie out, you cover it up. My hair is your weenie.
Right. Okay. And when you said that, like, obviously as a child, when do you go from being a child to not a child? Is it like an age thing? Like when
No. So
13?
So I think it's a biological thing, isn't it? When you hit puberty, when you are more aware, like cognitively, of what's right, what's wrong, what you should be doing. Some people wear hijab at a young age. Some people don't wear it at all. Some people wear it when they're a lot older. So it's all within you when you feel it's the right time to do it if you want to do it at all.
And what's the difference? What's the attitude from hijab to burqa? Is that the same? It's part of Muslim religion, yes?
So there's a lot of disagreement on this part.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that disagree with my opinion on niqab or the burqa. So the burqa is something that it's not compulsory in our religion at all. It is completely choice. From a religious point of view, you have to cover everything except for your face and your hands. Okay, so covering your face is not compulsory in our religion. Anyone that says covering your face is compulsory is wrong, and I would love for them to come forward and provide me with the scriptures in the hadith that says that it is compulsory. It is not compulsory.
Right.
The only times you're recommended to wear it is if you're so beautiful that people's head turn all the time, like you are stunning beyond belief, and I have not seen anyone that is beautiful to that extent.
Because they won't let you.
Because they're exactly. And the other time they say consider wearing it is if you've got like malformations or whatever, that it's going to draw negative attention to yourself. But I think that's quite like
degrading.
Not degrading, but like, you know, if you think you're that hideous, you want to cover your face, do it anyway. You know, the Elephant Man did it, so and we didn't judge him, did we? So it is what it is. But some people think that it draws less attention to you if you cover your face. So if you come from somewhere like Iran or Saudi Arabia or something like that, where men, I'm doing the fingers, guys, are deprived and like look at anything, as they say.
Yep.
If you want to wear it, fine, because it does draw less attention to you. But I personally, my opinion is, in this country, wearing a burqa draws more attention to yourself. Like if I wore a hijab, it's not a big deal, like whatever. People have mohawks, Jews wear scalp caps, you know, like people wear turbans, like it's not a big deal. But covering your face, I think, draws more attention to you. So I think it kind of like doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't really serve its purpose.
It doesn't. In my opinion, if you want to wear it, knock yourself out. I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. I just think in the Western world, it's not practical. But if you want to do it, you know. But it's not compulsory.
Interesting. So, for yourself, right, what was sort of growing up in England like for you? Coming from a Muslim background, I assume not drinking, not smoking, and obviously the English, they love to drink and they love to smoke. Yeah,
I struggled in uni a bit because like I wanted the best of both worlds. Like I wanted to stay true to my culture, my religion, but at the same time have fun. So I did have fun, but I never drank. And that was completely out of choice. If I wanted to drink, I can drink. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have tried it. But me personally, I've never ever been tempted to drink. It has never appealed to me. It smells bad. I've worked on a gastro ward and I see what it does to people's livers. There's nothing positive about the drink. And I'm African and it's really expensive. So why would I spend like £5 on a pint of beer when I can pay nothing for a pint of water? It literally doesn't make sense to me at all. But I've never drank, but I've partied quite hard. And I don't think you need to drink to be able to party. Everybody enjoys a good party or whatever. But no, I've never drank in my life.
Interesting.
Nor do I ever want to.
Really? So you don't even want to try it to see if it's yes or it's a no? You've just convinced yourself it's a no and that's the end of it?
Yeah, it's a no. I think also when I was 11 years old, I was leaving school.
Yeah.
And that's when I first started wearing hijab. I wore it really, really young. And it's because there was an older girl that I was like obsessed with. She wore it as well. So that's why I started wearing it. And I remember, yeah, I know. And I had really bad eczema when I was younger, like really bad eczema. And there was two guys walking and they had like a can of beer or cider or lager. I don't really know the difference. But I looked up at him and he laughed at me and he poured the contents of the can over me. And
you're 11?
Yeah, I was 11 years
he?
old. He must have been like in his 40s or something.
What?
I lived down south. It was horrifically racist back in the like late 90s. It was so racist.
Poured alcohol over a child?
Yes, it was. I came from a very, very racist area. Like the place that I grew up, we were literally the only black family, and there was one you can't say half, like mixed race kid, but he had like a white mum, but there was no other black people in the whole village. But yeah, so he poured it on me, and I just remember the smell, and I just like, it really aggravated my eczema. It really, really aggravated it.
Did you say anything to him, or did you cry, or like?
What the fuck am I going to say to a 40-something-year-old man as an 11-year-old?
Just like, oh, fuck off, mate.
Can you imagine? That would have been the last day of my life. I just...
You just cried?
Yeah, I just cried and went home. You know, my dad got really pissed off. He was like, show me who he is, show me. I was like, you'd never know who he is. Probably never going to see him again.
He's just a nondescript white guy.
Just a typical middle-aged white guy, yeah. But I think that, like, knowing the way it smelled and how it felt on my skin, oh my God, I think after that, it would never, ever even appeal to me to, like...
It's like when people are like scared of swimming and trying to learn to swim, and their dad takes them and like pushes them off a diving board, or like pushes them into a pool, and it's just like, you know, survive, and then they're just terrified of the water because they usually almost drown.
99% of the time, yeah. It's a similar thing. It's never appealed to me.
Yeah.
That experience, I think, it was for my benefit, but no, I'd never, ever, ever.
So a mid-40s Southerners really put you off the drink?
Yes. Very much so. Very much so. I'm always the designated driver as well, so it works to my friends' advantages, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you don't let any of them rub feces over your car seats?
Only some of them.
if they have to. As long as it's not theirs. I mean, that's gross.
I prefer if it's theirs.
I wanted to keep the the fun energy going and try and talk to you, because you probably get asked quite often. People are like, oh, you know, tell me all like the negative things that have happened, like racist things, horrible things that have happened, like the guy pouring beer over you. Have you had a lot of like positive things happen?
Do you know what? Through comedy, yeah. Like I've been contacted by a few, you know, like organisations and stuff, like female organisations that have asked me to come and speak for them. That have asked me, like, I've done like a few interviews and stuff like that, because, you know, they were like, there's not many black female hijabis that do what I do.
There's none. I don't know any of them.
Yeah, I think, like, I looked up just to see if there had been any, and I think there was one that I found, but she's shit. No point in mentioning names, but she was shit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
When the pool's as small as it is, like, I wouldn't go around telling people that they're shit.
Yeah, she was pretty shocking. Not in the sense of like, I personally didn't enjoy it at all, and it's not a coincidence that she's only had 2 gigs since 2003. But
you can't really count her as competition then. No,
not really.
What's her name?
She was so shit, I swear I forgot. It was just like, it was...
You're brutal.
I think it's because it's jokes that people have already done. It's so obvious that she's listened to other people and copied it and whatever. But there isn't a lot of people that do it. So I think, like, I've had, like, loads of messages and stuff saying, oh, you've motivated me to, like, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do hosting. I've always wanted to do acting and blah, blah, blah. And it is so refreshing and really humbling to know that, you know, like, I'm opening up a gateway for other Muslim girls to do things that are outside of the stereotypical what is expected of them. So I guess that's like the most positive thing I've had out of this.
Is it like is it a hard thing to break that mold? Like, did you have a lot of people going, oh no, you can't do this?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, my parents don't know how to use podcasts, so they're never going to listen to this.
Yeah.
But my parents don't know I do it yet.
Really?
Yeah, so I haven't told them yet. So
how long have you been doing comedy for?
Since March.
Okay.
So if I've got a gig or whatever and I'm at home, I'll just tell them that, like, I've got a shift at a pharmacy or something, go do the gig and come back. Not that they'll...
What?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have a problem with it?
My mother, I think, would. My father would be like... My dad's a massive joker, so my whole comedy comes from my dad. My dad is the categorically funniest person you'll ever see and you'll ever meet in your life. He's hilarious, and he gets it from my grandfather, Allah yarhamu. So he was the funniest guy you'd ever meet in your life. So my grandfather was born in 1909, I think. So he was actually, when the British came into Sudan, he worked for them. He was like a slave. But in those days, they didn't call it a slave, even though it was slavery, because they weren't paid and they were forced to work against their will. So he used to always tell us the stories of the white man, when the white man came and stuff like that. And he was absolutely hilarious. So
Was he joking about being a slave?
No. He genuinely was.
Right, so he was
like,
he was telling genuine stories.
Yeah,
but he was
yeah.
also funny.
Yeah, it was
as a
like when
separate
he
thing.
talks about it, it's absolutely hilarious, and he was a really, really funny guy. So I think if I tell my dad, and me and my dad bounce off each other so much, like we've got the same sense of humour. So I think my dad will be like, look, as long as you keep like modest, like, because I know, like, I've discussed it with Sean a few times, there's a lot of comedians that will openly talk about their sexual experiences or about their female genitalia and stuff like that. So I just think to myself, as long as I will, as much as I can, what I joke about on stage, as long as, if I have in my head, if my parents were watching, would they be upset? I try to stick to that as much as I can. So not use bad language, not talk about...
You don't swear at all, do you?
Not live, I don't.
Okay.
Not openly. I try to avoid it as much as possible.
How much would I have to pay you to say fuck off, you cunt? Is there a price?
£1,000.
£1,000?
I do say it on a Saturday night quite a lot, but like on stage and
It is
stuff
Saturday
like that.
night now.
Is
We're almost there.
Yeah, okay.
Afternoon, maybe.
Almost. So I'll probably I try to avoid it as much as possible. But you see where I'm coming from? Do you know when there's comedians that overly swear? I feel like it kind of takes away
I
from
think people think that about me, but I don't overly swear.
You're Australian. You're famous for that, aren't you?
Well, I just swear like in my everyday talk, like I'm never malicious with my swearing. So like, my girlfriend's little brother, right, is learning all of these swear words, right, because he's just hearing them. Like, he's just a young lad. He's 10 years old in Yorkshire. He's just hearing them, and he'd like tell people to fuck off. And I was like, no, you can't tell people to fuck off. But if you're using fuck as a descriptive word, right, or calling someone a cunt, but not in an aggressive way, it's like, what's that cunt doing? Like it's never like a malicious thing. It's just like more of a descriptive word. Then that's fine. But don't like attack people with your words.
If I was to swear, it would literally be for attacking purposes.
Really?
I wouldn't just casually call someone that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
There's like someone like walking down the middle of the road. You're like, what's that cunt doing? Like,
what has he done to deserve that comment?
Nothing. It's just like a bit, what's that person doing? It's just like
No, I try to avoid it because...
I really want you to swear now.
Maybe later. No, because like if someone listens to this, I try my best to be a positive influence. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, that girl who's Muslim, who's practicing and she's swearing all the time. I don't want to be like seen like that. Hence why I don't talk about I did say tits earlier.
You did?
Yeah.
That was very vulgar.
It is, isn't it?
I was disgusted.
Edit it out. he's gonna like maximise that and be like, so one time I had tits.
So what's the plan for the future for you with comedy? Do you want to keep going on the comedy path, or like, because I know you have quite a stable job at the moment. You don't need to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you're not making money off it.
Yeah, I'm not making money off it, but my ultimate dream is to make it my full-time career. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I really want to do it full-time. I want to make a career or a living out of it. And if I do that, I will dump pharmacy quicker than Sean on a Friday night.
Have you had to dump Sean on a Friday night?
Have I had to dump him?
Yeah.
I've had to dump him on many occasions.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
His
really sorry,
unwanted
Sean.
advances.
Yeah,
That's such a common thing with Sean. I hear that from so many of my guests. Like,
I hear it from a lot of males and females.
Absolutely, yeah. I've had to... actually, no, I tell a lie. Well, I have had to like slow it down at points. There's a picture of me and Sean kissing at one point.
How was that for you?
Which is disgusting. His teeth are horrible. I reckon he could be a transsexual.
I didn't say it. He did. That's so rude. I think you're handsome.
She literally went to like fold the hijab over her eyes, like to be like.
So this is another time that women are allowed to wear burqa. When people make comments like that.
You just like the world just closed in. You were like, no.
I love Sean. I love him very much. I think he's handsome. He looks like Noel Gallagher.
I thought he looked like Liam. I don't know what they look like though.
He looks like Noel Gallagher. It could be Liam, but on crack.
Okay. Yeah. Sean has done a lot of crack though. Do you
and
think?
Cocaine apparently.
Oh my word.
Yeah. I'm joking, he hasn't done anything, he just snorts fairy dust.
It's called angel dust. Gets you lit. What's your attitude towards drugs? Same as drink?
I've never done drugs before. I went to Amsterdam on a brave one. I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, I'm going to smoke so much weed.
Really?
I didn't smoke anything. I was too scared.
The weed in Amsterdam is very strong as well.
Yeah, I
really
heard.
knocks you around.
Yeah, I heard. But I'm not brave enough to do it. I think like I'm so like on the spectrum of mental health. Yeah, potentially. So I think anything can just push me over the edge. So I'm not taking that risk.
Have you got like anxiety? Or
have I got any what?
Anxiety or depression? When you're saying you're on the spectrum of mental health?
I don't know, like I had anger management when I was younger, yeah.
Really?
Yes, believe it or not.
Why were you angry?
I don't know. I just like, I'm a really happy-go-lucky kind of person, but if something pisses me off, that's it. Life's over.
Are you like smash the place up angry or like really spiteful?
Very spiteful I would say. But I feel bad for it afterwards and I do apologise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I never had anger management. I would just have what my parents would term as explosions, where they just do something I didn't like, something just didn't go my way, and would just explode.
And do what?
I don't know, break things, attack people, just like God. Just madness.
I can't imagine because you got such a baby face.
I know, I'm so lovely now because I like managed to get it into check. But there was a time when it was just like, even at school, like I was throwing like chairs at teachers, other students, like getting in fist fights.
You don't come across like that.
No, because I got it all out of my system when I was young, and now I'm just real chill and relaxed.
You see. Or is that the drugs that have made you chilled?
Possibly, it could be all the drugs I take. I've got a serious problem. Just cooked all the time.
But we're not allowed to mention where the drugs come from.
A guy called Corey comes and delivers them to me, just at a car park across the street. He drives a Vauxhall Astra.
Is that actually the truth?
I don't know. Can I see your hair?
I'll talk to you if you tell me who your drug provider is.
It's Corey, I told you. Shout out to you, Corey.
Sorry, Corey.
Cos dog.
By the way, I'm a part-time police officer, so I'll be speaking to you later.
Are you really?
I could be.
Oh. You wear so many hats. Do you get like a kick out of being like a badass Muslim woman who like knows what she's doing and like people seem to, because you've got quite a name for yourself on the comedy circuit and it's never negative. Everyone always thinks you're a bit of a boss.
So it can go two ways. I've 3 ways.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not like
that.
Without
an extra prong.
So either I get a lot of positivity,
yeah,
or I get comments like, "Oh, you're lucky that you're a niche. You're a niche. Which for
a niche.
A niche. That's what they say. Like basically, like there's not a lot of people that do what you do.
Right. Yeah.
And for me, I take that very negatively. So basically, you're implying the only reason I'm doing well is because I'm a black Muslim hijabi, and I'm like, could it be that you're just not funny? Like I don't know.
I'm not that funny, but because I'm Australian, I think I've gotten further than if I'd said these same things as an English person.
Potentially.
Because people just remember you because you were different.
Yeah.
You were something different on the lineup.
Yeah, I think so. Like, because after I won the Frog and Bucket, they made comments like, "Oh,
who's they?
People, certain comedians.
Comedians, okay.
That
not the general public. They love you.
No, not the general. Like, I don't meet the general public, but the general public are actually like the audience members. They do come to me. Those peasants don't approach me.
Not unless you spray them in the face with hand sanitizer. I'm like, now you can speak to me. Wiping them down.
No, they've been really nice. Actually, it's actually very, very, very humbling.
Would you shake an audience member's hand?
I would kiss an audience member, and I hug them whenever they say, like, whenever they come and praise me. You have no idea.
But you
how
won't
happy
sit
they
on a
do.
bus, but you'll touch an audience member.
No, because then but I'm not. I'd sit on a bus, but like, there's nothing wrong with just wiping it down. You don't know.
Would
like,
you wipe the audience member down? I've seen some fucked up audience members, mate. There's some gross cunts out there.
There was. You know what? It's so weird. In Warrington, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. But there was an audience member. He must have been 68 and probably owned about 8 of his own teeth.
Okay.
But I was stood there, like, waiting for my turn, and then he was like, "So you're back then?" And I kind of looked and I was like, "Oh, me?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're back. You've come back." I was like, "Oh, I've never been here before." He went, "Oh, right, all right." And I was just like...
She winked at the end of that sentence.
And I was like, "No, I think you've mistaken me for somebody else. I've literally never been here. It's a small pub called the Black Horse in the middle of Warrington. Nothing would ever take me there, ever." And he was like, "Yeah, you've come back for more. Let me buy you a beer." I was like, "No, thank you. Like, I don't drink."
The way to a Muslim woman's heart.
Yeah.
Buy her a beer.
And show me your 8 teeth as well. And it was just like, it was so bizarre for me. So after I came off stage, he was like, "You were fantastic. Why don't we discuss this a bit later?"
And
like,
you shagged him.
All right.
Guilty.
But like, you get experiences like that, and it's weird. I've had a lot of not comedians, but people like
People that call
slide into
themselves
my
comedians.
DMs, yeah. And I think you've noticed I've stopped saying my corrupt under the hijab joke, because a lot of people took it very seriously.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've had some very, very, very strange DMs.
Can you show them to me after we get off this?
I-
No, not now, because we can't out people, but I want to know.
Oh, what you mean, the DMs? The only person that's seen them is Sean, because I'm like, "Sean, how do I respond to this? Do I just block him?" And Sean like sends me these crazy messed up shit. He's like, "Say this to them, say that to them, say this."
Oh my
Like,
God.
I'm not saying none of this.
Let me get involved.
But I've had a lot of indecent exposure. Yes.
People sending you pictures of their penises.
Yes.
Comedians.
Yes.
That you know. That
Some of them
know.
I don't.
That I would know.
Some of them, one of them didn't show me a picture but made very explicit comments, and I hope and pray to God I never bump into him again, and he's within the Manchester circuit.
No way.
Yeah.
Please tell me who these people are.
I don't think I can.
When we get off mic. Come on.
I literally can't, because I can't expose them like that, and if it goes everywhere I would feel really guilty. I explained to them that, you know, what they said is inappropriate, but I will not use it against them any further, and I'm happy to be cordial with them and
Why
whatever.
are you so mature?
Because I can't be like, "Oh, that's disgusting, I'm going to tell everyone how disgusting you are, blah blah." And you know, they're oblivious to it. Maybe that is the way, like in the West, that women are approached. I'm really unsure. Where we come from, they go straight to my father. But I thought maybe it's normal here, but for me, I was very taken aback.
So if you want to send a dick pic to someone in Sudan, you have to send it to their father and then they'll show it to their daughter. Is that the way that it works?
To be honest, it's not one phone. A lot of the people in Sudan, you need like 3 phones because we're so well endowed. Like,
You saying your dad's got a big dick? You took it there.
the people who approach my father.
Oh, right, okay. Everyone's just slinging. Everyone's just slinging a member. I wanted to ask you, right, because I'm backtracking now, right, but you said hijab is about modesty, okay? Now, why is it that then you're allowed to wear makeup and lipstick? Because it does accentuate the beauty of your face.
You have hit a nail on the head. So this is a question that is discussed by many people.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not attacking you.
No. This, like, it's so weird. We have we do an Islamic circle every Tuesday.
Okay.
And
share dick pics.
yes, of our own personal penises.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on under there?
Yeah. These aren't real teeth. My teeth are actually a bit Oh. I'm joking! That wasn't an attack!
Try again!
So yeah, that is, but it's true. Like some people arguably say that, you know, wearing makeup or whatever does draw attention to yourself, and so you're right in saying like arguably you shouldn't wear it, but I look rough with a capital
makeup.
R. I think so. Well, I look 12. Like I feel, well, you must know exactly how I feel, like looking a lot younger than your age. But I feel like if I don't wear makeup, and if I don't, even if I go to like a 15s in the cinema, I get ID'd, it makes I look so young. So
Would you think that could just be modern day racism though, that they're IDing you?
do you know what, I'm going to pull the race card next time. Thank you. You should work for the Citizens Advice Bureau.
You think I'm 14? You're racist?
Yeah. Oh, the race card.
How often do you pull the race card? Have you ever done it and you're like, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I know that I can?
I think twice.
Okay.
I've done it, and I felt very bad for it afterwards.
Both of them, tell me.
One time because I bought a child's ticket instead of an adult ticket, and he was like, show me your ID. I don't think you're under the age of 13. And I was like, the real reason you're letting me go is because I'm black, isn't it? I said, are you a racist? Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as someone's made out to be a racist, oh my God. No, I swear. And then I'm like, okay. And then he let me go. I felt really bad for it. I did give money to charity because that is theft. I did thieve £2.25.
So hang on. Bought the child's ticket.
As an adult.
Someone questioned you on it.
And I said, why are you questioning me? Is it because of my...
You felt so guilty from that. You donated to a miscellaneous charity completely unrelated to the cinema or whatever the ticket was for.
Train,
okay.
Yeah, I did. I felt really guilty.
That literally just defeats the whole purpose, except the charity is now up and the corporations are down.
They take enough tax from me. But that was a very long time ago. I was in college.
I could see you as the spokesperson for a charity.
Do you think so?
You've got that sort of like, you know, listen to me. I've got something to say and you're probably going to like it. Do you know what I mean?
Any charitable organisations listening? I'm available. I charge minimum £30 an hour.
That's not how charitable organisations work.
Well, do I have to work for free?
Typically, yeah. Well, that's what they say. So you put out the messaging that you work for free.
Do you know how much the CEO of Oxfam makes?
Yep.
How much?
£500,000.
Yep, £435,000 a year.
Yeah. But you have the air that you're working for free. That's a good thing. No one ever actually discusses how much you make. Charities are the way to really ramp it up. But Oxfam's a huge charity. Like it is a business.
Only 5% of the money donated goes towards charity.
Really?
Yes, that's correct. So if you want to donate to charities, ladies and gentlemen, give it directly to the people or people that you know that know the people. That's what I recommend.
Interesting. Or go for like local charities where you can actually like see, you know, who's doing it, and it's like a group of people. It's not just
100% agree.
One person. There's a charity here in Manchester called Headway. That another one of my guests that came on. His name's Ben Shevlin. He's got a brain injury. Fell off a scooter when he was 19. Smashed his head. Like he's fucked. Like he's a brain injury. Just a walking brain injury.
Can he cognitively communicate?
Yeah. So he sat here and did the podcast with me.
Okay, great.
But it was like, there was bits where it was a bit like disjointed. But Headspace is just a local charity around Cheshire that literally just go into people's houses who've got brain injuries, help them clean their house, cook some meals for them, talk to their family, just give them everyday support. It's not a big thing, but it's also like, it's really helpful.
Yeah, and this podcast's actually great then for like promoting stuff like that. I've never even heard about it.
Yeah. It's not Headspace, it's Headway. Headspace is that fucking stupid meditation shit they got on YouTube. It's like, fucking sit there. It's like go in the app and it's like, be quiet for 5 minutes. And it was like, I don't need to pay £4 for you to tell me to shut up. You fucking idiots. Oh my God. If you've got Headspace, literally go and drown yourself. Like,
I'm going to check it out now you've said that.
It's literally it's like a meditation app.
Oh, it's an app?
Yeah, it's an app, but it's just a lot of silence. No, Headspace is a meditation app. Headway is the brain injury charity, right?
This is what we need to know. Headway.
Headway, good charity. Headspace, paid app in the App Store that helps you meditate. It's just a lot of silence.
You can pay me £4 and I'll help you meditate. Did that sound sexual?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, not like that. That will cost you £400.
People are objectifying it. I can feel it in their ears.
I wonder who's going to listen to this.
Well, hopefully, some young Muslim women will be influenced by your confidence in yourself and confidence in the way that you're able
I really
to
hope so.
present yourself. I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk directly to that audience and give them some advice, if you will.
So I think if you want to do something, do it. There's more to life than medicine, pharmacy, engineering and law. It's the reality of it. That's practically that's all we're raised knowing. I think now these new generations, they're more open. But if you want to go into entertainment, go into entertainment. If you want to do comedy, you want to do, I don't know, what else is there?
Is it a Muslim thing? Because all the Muslims that I know have either got degrees in those things that you just mentioned. They've got engineering degrees, they've got medicine, they've got law degrees, like all of them. And none of them really want to actually do that.
Well, some of them do, which is fantastic. Like, I don't regret doing pharmacy. It's a stable income, it's a respected profession, but it's not what I'm passionate doing. I want to be able to wake up and look forward to my day, not wake up and be like, oh, for God's sake, it's another day. Like, I want to be able to love what I'm doing. And I truly envy people that go to work and enjoy what they're doing. Like, my brother did his master's in mechanical engineering and he just hated it. So he started from the very bottom and worked his way up, and now he works in a very respected marketing and advertisement company or whatever, and he loves his job. So I think that really encouraged me. My brothers have been the most amazing support I could ever ask for. My older brother's a doctor, and he was like, I wish I had the courage to be able to get on stage and do this and that. He's hilarious. You'll probably meet him soon. He's going to come and see me in the semi-finals of the Frog and Bucket. He wants to come and see me. Yeah.
Are you doing the Beat the Frog World Series?
What did I say?
Frog and Bucket?
Yeah. Beat the Frog. Yeah. So the semi-finals.
World Series is in October, isn't it?
The semi-finals are in October and the World Series is in November. Yeah.
I did it last year. I didn't get out of the semi-finals.
So you made it to the semi-finals?
Yeah.
And how was it?
Brutal. It's hard.
Is it really, really bad?
It's just hard. It's just everyone on the stage is funny. So
yeah, because I think that's the mentality that you should have, is that all of those have won. Absolutely. Which means they're really, really good.
It's a little bit like in the UFC or in boxing, and they get on the mic afterwards, they're like, oh yeah, it was a good fight, he's a tough guy. Like, you don't need to say he's a tough guy, he's obviously a fucking cage fighter. It's like all the comedians that you're up against, they're all fucking funny. The crowds like them, they've won before.
Yeah, and like I know there's a few on there that are really good, like Ivaldas. He's doing fantastically well at the moment. I know that he's in the semi-finals, and he's. You
can't trust him though. He's shifty. This Eastern European. He's I don't know, man. Something about him. He seems too nice as well.
He genuinely is
cleaning up like the canals and shit in a rubber boat. What? Him and his like Lithuanian friend got like a fucking rubber dinghy, and were like going up and down the Manchester Canal, like cleaning out the rubbish. Who does that?
What, for free?
Yeah, it's just for fun. They made it in the newspaper.
Are we talking about the same person?
Valdas Karosis, the Lithuanian comedian, the skinny guy.
He cleaned the canal?
Oh, yes!
I've never heard or seen this.
Right, let me get this up.
Well, good for him though. Well done him. He's doing his part for the community as well. I think that's fantastic.
If I Google Valdas Karosis, okay, and then I look at Manchester Canal. This is legit. I can't believe you didn't see this.
No, I've never even heard this.
Here we go. Here's them. Why is it taking too long?
Lads from Lithuania to do it.
That's Valdas there, and there's them in the rubber dinghy, and there's them in the.
Oh, I'm so proud of them.
Isn't it
That's
big?
fantastic.
Right, and then they did like this weird photo shoot with like the fucking rubber dinghy. It's got the oars, like it's hilarious. And he didn't promote his comedy. Look at the photo shoot, like they fully had like a So yeah, that's why I said no one's that nice, are they?
No, I genuinely think he is that nice, though. That's the thing, and that's just made him 10 times nicer.
I know. It's just everyone wants him. Like, it's just what can you do? What can you do?
Well,
when there's men out there like Evoldus, what's the fucking point, right? Not only has he got a great smile, a beautiful, giving personality, he cleans the fucking canals.
And he's funny.
And he's funny. God's sake, mate, we've slagged off Sean a lot in this podcast and really bigged up Evoldus, and I'm not sure.
It should have been the other way around, to be honest. I love Sean, I actually do, but not in that way. He knows that. Aww. Even though he's tried it on many occasions. No, thank you.
Really?
Yeah. I'm joking.
So often
I'm the Liam to his Noel.
That's literally bang on an hour. We've done an hour, and I think we need to call it there.
I'm going to text him before he hates me.
Is there anyone that you'd like to thank before we go?
So definitely I'd like to thank Sean. He's really put me in the right direction. He's really got me out there.
Sean Pakzuski.
Yes. I like to call him Polish Sean because I can't pronounce his last name.
It's Pachowski.
It's
not.
Is it not?
Pachkovsky.
Yeah. He's been fantastic. Andrew Grogan. He was the first comedian I ever met.
Really?
And he was the one that listed all the spots that I should go for.
Really?
And
was my night on there?
Yes, it was.
Good job, Andrew Grogan.
Yeah. So those two have been fantastic. And yeah, everybody else that's like really supported me on the way, but those two really, really stand out the most, to be honest.
So you seem to like, skinny gays, really, is like your market.
He's sharing a tent with Barry Heap this week.
I know he is.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is that I lent him the tent, right, and he texts me, he goes, your tent leaks, and I just said it was free.
And if they've slept in it, I'll give you a lifetime supply of sanitizer as well.
Oh, I don't want it back. It was literally like mouldy when I gave it to them. Like, I used it a year ago and it sat behind that couch. It was wet when we brought it back. I just left it there. Don't look behind that couch. It's a mess, mate. We don't have a cupboard to put our bedding in, so we just sort of hide it there.
I think it looks nice there.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about my bedding. I'm going to go now. Good job, Ola. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Stay safe and stay smiling.